Hi, I'm Max. I'm the creator behind Eat the Rich Art. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns, and I'm here today to show you what I've made this week. It's quite late at night, and the pollen count is quite high today, so hang on just a second. Hopefully the audio will be slightly better now. My fan was on. If I sound stuffy or I'm not making much sense, I'm just being rambly, that's why. I'm going to try my best to stay on track, but yeah, brain's not necessarily in the building today, so I try, but I can't promise anything. Ghosties in the background as normal. Cool. It's been a bit of a slow week because, as I've reiterated many times in the few videos that I filmed across the past few days, it's been like 30 to 36 degrees in the UK. Well, I say 30 to 36 in the UK. It's been like 30 to 32 outside. Our houses are built to retain heat, so my house has been getting up to 36, 37 degrees, which is quite hot. For Americans, 35 is 95 Fahrenheit, I think. So that may not seem like much to people who are used to getting it up into the hundreds, but I don't have AC in my house, and my house is built to keep in heat, and I have a cat who thinks cars are fun to play with, so she's an indoor cat. So we can't open the windows particularly wide or really do anything to get breezes through. I've been dying just a little bit. I also have a fatigue-based disorder, and heat makes fatigue worse, so it's been hot. I've not really been able to do much of anything really. Though I have got a couple of non-pridey projects finished today, and I'm done now with the Pride prep, so we're back to a more varied picture of things that I'm making going forwards. I'm going to be working on the things that I need to finish for my yarn review video, so they will be popping up over the next couple of weeks, and I need to make a hell of a lot of ducks for download, so that's what's coming. What I've done this week, I'll start at the start. So when I filmed last week's video, I had this guy on the hook, but not quite finished. So he is finished. He's the asexual sea slug. And then I also made an aromantic sea slug. This is the pattern by... Bear with me just a sec while I get my spreadsheet up. I need to update the spreadsheet that's in the description, so if these aren't in that spreadsheet, yell at me in the comments and let me know. Let's do the secret emoji while I'm getting this loaded. Comment a green emoji. I feel like a green emoji is a good one for this video. I know we're quite early in the video, but let's get it out of the way. Right. Slugs. Who's Your Granny Creations? The slugs are by. So I did one with eyes, and then I did one without eyes, because the pattern doesn't have eyes, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. So I'm going to see how they go at the markets, and then let people choose the one that they feel more attached to out of the two. I'm also going to ask people for their opinions while I'm there and just workshop the product a bit while people are there, basically. So then the next thing I did, in the aim of finishing the Arrow and Ace Pride video, which should be coming up towards the end of June, so in the next couple of weeks. That's scary that we're like already at the start of June. If you hear smacking or eating noises in the background, my cat decided to finally eat her dinner and she's doing it as loudly as possible, so I'm so sorry. I will try and like dull the noise, but that's what's going on if you're confused and you don't like eating sounds. I'm sorry. They hopefully will finish soon. She doesn't tend to take long. But yeah, so I was finishing the Arrow and Ace videos. So I decided to make a little mushy guy with a little arrow hat on, because I was running quite low on black and the celery colour. So I wanted something that wouldn't take much yarn but was still cute. So a mushy boy it was. And then this is the cream in the parfait chunky. I've not told you how much yarn these took. Let's do that, because that will help fill the video out a little bit. So I did the Ace slug first. The Ace slug took 10 grams of silver, 3 grams of white, 2 grams of black and 14 grams of lilac, so 29 grams of yarn in total. And then the green one took 5 grams of silver, 3 grams of white, 2 grams of black, 12 grams of celery and 19 grams of apple green for a total of 41 grams. So quite a big difference between the two, but I feel like the greener yarns have been denser while I've been crocheting. Like everything with the arrow flags turned out quite a lot heavier than everything else, so I don't know. Yeah, mushy boy. So this is all yarn smiths on the hat and then parfait on the body. So this is 1 gram of apple green, 1 gram of celery, 2 grams of silver, 4 grams of white, 5 grams of black and 29 grams of cream to get this guy done. Then the next thing I did after that was the final thing to finish the Arrow and Ace videos, which was this star buddy. I'm not sure about this smile, I might take that off. But this is 12 grams of lilac, 5 grams of silver, 9 grams of black and 3 grams of white to get that guy done. And that was the Arrow and Ace videos. And then the thing I did after that was finishing the non-binary video. So I tried this T-Rex pattern out by Ikiti Kochita US crochet, and that's really cute. I think I want to make some more of these, but I need to put one through testing first. But this was my first one to see if I actually liked the pattern before I decided whether or not I liked it enough to sell it and spend time putting it through testing and stuff. I always make one first to see if I actually like the pattern, and I do, so I'm gonna make one to test. But yeah, so that was that guy. Then I made my patchwork bunny. I've made this guy before, but it was ages ago, back at Halloween. So he's got the non-binary colours in his patchy bits, and then the main purple for the body, and then I used the tiny scrap I had left of the lilac that I'd used on everything else to do all of the embroidery, so hopefully someone likes him. I forgot to say this guy took 19 grams of yellow, 3 grams of black, 3 grams of white and 4 grams of lilac. This one took 7 grams of white, 3 grams of lemon yellow, 7 grams of black, 1 gram of the lilac for all of the embroidery, and then 34 grams of the purple. And then the final couple of things I've done this week. I'm sorry, this is a very short video. But I have my driving test coming up next week, so I'm really hoping, touch wood, that goes well. But I did want to make something for my instructor because he's been so nice and so kind and patient. If you want to learn to drive in the Coventry area and you want to learn to drive in an automatic, go with Drive Johnson's and ask for Abdullah, because he is fantastic. Again, I'm so sorry that the cat's being noisy in the background. It's so late at night that I don't want to bother pausing and refilming, so we're just going to have to deal with the background noise. But I made a little car, because his car is red, so I made a car. It's a bit goofy, and then I've put it on a keychain for him. This is the Lightning McQueen pattern by Studio Gurumi. It's free on Instagram, but I just gave it normal windscreens and things. Their version is a lot cuter because they used felt and stuck it on, whereas I made squares and sewed them on, but that will be for him as a thank you present. Hopefully, touch wood, if I pass my test next week. But yeah, so that was fun. And then the final project for this week is actually an old project from like last year. Like, I think this was in one of my first monthly make videos from last year, but I never actually finished it. So I finally finished the star bout chain for my partner. He's asked for foundation single crochet in black between the stars, so he's got that. And then I've added 2 of my keychains, because I've got the keychains that have got the grippy bits onto either end, so he can attach it to his belt. And that is the star bout chain that I made. So I made all of the stars last year. I was workshopping star patterns and he liked the one that I landed on, so I made more of them and then just never actually got around to making them into a chain. So it's got yellow, red, yellow, blue, yellow. because it's then got kind of clowny vibes because his fursona has kind of clowny vibes. So that was the idea, to represent his fursona. They're matching. And his fursona has star-shaped nipples, which is cute. So yeah, that is everything I've made this week. That took 2 or 3 grams of the black yarn to get it actually finished. This guy took 12 grams of red, 1 gram of black and 1 gram of white. I forget how little yarn is used on acrylic projects compared to plush. And yeah, that's everything I've done this week. Not much at all. Hopefully I'll have more to show you next week because it's cooling back down, so things are a bit calmer, but then I've got everything to do to prep for my market, so I might not have time to crochet too much. I'm hoping this week to try and focus on a couple more projects that I started last year and then never finished. So my hexagons, all of my scrap hexagons that I was going to make a Tyrannosaurus Rex out of, that I never actually did because I didn't realise that the pattern used pentagons and squares and hexagons and not just hexagons, and I don't want to redo 90 different shapes. They're all done in scrap yarn, so it's tiny little bits of yarn. I don't want to put myself through that, so I'm making all the hexagons that I made into a blanket. I just never got around to finishing the blanket. I've got all of the hexagons, so sewing those together I think I'm going to try and work on this week to try and give my hands a bit of a break but still be doing something yarny. That's on the list. I'd like to make some mossy boys, I'd like to make some ducks, I'd like to make some possums, as well as tagging and testing and everything that I need to do to get ready for the Pride market. So I also need to do a full inventory. We might be quite busy this week. Oh, we'll find out. But yeah, I'm now getting rambly and silly, so I'm going to head off. But let me know in the comments what your favourite was. Like the video if you'd like to. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of these, what I made this week's. I also have the last couple of videos of my Pride Market prep series coming up. So as of releasing this video, I think it will be the gay male / Achillean flag. Will be this Friday. Then it'll be the arrow and the ace flag in 2 weeks' time after that. There will be a market vlog in between for my first Pride market of the year. If I get that edited, it might be that those get swapped around. And then the month of June will be finishing on my arrow ace video, so if you're interested in any of those, they'll be coming if you'd like to subscribe. If you're not into the Pridey stuff as much, I also have a yarn review, a yarn haul, and a chronic illness tips, doing markets as a chronically ill creator. They're all coming in July, so yeah, drop me a subscribe if you're interested in any of that. Hype the video if you are able to. I still don't know if YouTube's enabled it on my channel. They're telling me it should be, but I don't know. So it really helps me out if you can, but if you can't, that's fine. YouTube's a bit weird with how they roll things out for small creators, so it's no big deal. Check out my store if you'd like to see, well, the acrylic things won't be on my store. I pretty much only release the push things on my store, but I have some patterns on there for a Derpy Tiger and a Fury Dragon keychain. There is a Pride capybara pattern coming in July, and then I also sell plushies. If you're based outside of the UK or the EU, drop me a message if you'd like to buy plushies, because I need to work out the shipping for your location specifically, depending on the plushies, because Ko-fi doesn't do that automatically for me, so it's a bit of a mess, but I can get that sorted if you drop me a message. I think that's everything I have to say. My Instagram's also linked down there if you'd just like to follow me a bit more sort of day to day and what I'm doing. I update a bit more frequently on there than anywhere else. And yeah, I think that's everything I need to say now. So thank you again for watching and have a nice day.